Hey gang, Jim Spellos here, and this shirt doesn't necessarily apply to today, but welcome to Wednesday. Wednesday is Seniors Day, and today we're going to probably be starting a series on home internet issues. And yeah, I know, it's not just for seniors, it's for everyone, but I want to get a couple of fundamentals over the next few weeks discussed. And what we're going to talk about today is really straightforward. It's bandwidth. What is it? How do you measure it? And what do you need? So let's go over to Chrome, and what we're going to see right now is we have here a Google page where we did a search for speed test, and we'll get to that in a second because that speed test link is going to help us figure out the speed we have in our location. So what is bandwidth? Bandwidth is just the speed of your internet. I know it's a poor definition, but it's the most straightforward one. It's how fast the information is coming from the server to your computer and from your computer back to your server. Now, those are two different numbers, and that's what we're going to see right now. So I'm going to go over to the blue button that says Run Speed Test. I'm going to click on it. And what is going to happen in the next 30 seconds or so is we will see a speed test of both my download speed and my upload speed. Now, right now you can see that my download speed is peaking really, really high. But as we get to the upload, and in a second we'll explain what the two are, it is clearly not that fast. And you're going to go, well, something's wrong with the internet. Not really. You see, there's actually three pieces of information on here that I want you to be able to look at. The first one is download speed. That's your streaming. That's getting your Netflix, that's getting your HBO or sports, whatever you're bringing down from the server to your computer. What's adequate? Well, for streaming, you should have at least 10 to 20 megabits per second. I have 332. I have very fast download speed. I'm also close to my router, but that's a conversation for another episode. So, part one, what's download speed? It's your ability to stream getting things onto your computer. And anything over 20, actually some people would even say 10, but 20 megabits per second, you'll be able to do good high definition streaming. Now the upload speed is a little bit different. It's bringing stuff from your computer up to the server. It really doesn't apply all the time, except when the pandemic hit and we all got on Zoom and Teams and FaceTime and all those tools, the upload speed really comes into play because that is how shaky or stable your image is going to be. You really need at least a couple of megabytes per second, Mbps, to be able to stream properly. I would say 5 as a minimum, but you can get away with a little bit less. Now, you're going to ask, why do I only have 10 upload and 332 download? Well, that's how the different internet providers provide this because they don't want to give you all this open bandwidth, so they parse it out. And because you're using download much more than upload, you'll usually get a lot more of that. How do you know? You ask them. You find out what the package you're on. Now mine's on a 300 down, 10 up. Why I'm getting 332? It's not an exact science, okay? But I'm getting more than enough. Now, there are other issues that are in play here. This is all wireless, which is great. But there's one more piece of information on the speed test, and that's the latency. And that's sort of the delay in the process beginning. And 11 milliseconds is very fast. I mean, 40 milliseconds, actually 25 to 50 milliseconds probably is where most high-speed internets come in at. 11 milliseconds is a blink of an eye. It's actually less than a blink of an eye. So it's not going to create a lot of hiccups. What do those hiccups look like? Well, you know, sometimes you're watching a movie and all of a sudden these little color squares come up that just doesn't seem clear. Those are pixels, and that's because the latency typically isn't fast enough, and it's causing the image to not be stable, to not bring everything down to your TV or to your device all at once. Now you can test again and again. I can test this another time, which I'll do right now while I'm talking, and you're going to see the numbers are going to fluctuate because it's going to depend on a whole host of factors. In fact, right now it's trying to connect the server and not even getting there. Not sure why that is, but obviously things like this happen, so I'm going to cancel that. And we cancel the test. Let's retry to see whether it's working. There we go. and it's now at this time about the same 330 megabits per second on the download speed. Again, it's blazing fast, multiple people being able to stream high def simultaneously. The upload, getting close to that 10 megabits per second. It's more than adequate for Zoom, Teams, any of those for you to have a clear image. And that's phase one of this conversation. So let's bring it back so we can be back here. Hello there. So we talked about bandwidth, what it is. It's the speed coming back and forth to your computer and back from your computer. How to measure it? You go to speed test, you type that into a Google search, and then you hit that blue button and you look for those three numbers. The download speed, the one you're going to use most often, is going to be your streaming speed, and anything over 20 probably is going to give you good steady streaming. Of course, by the way, if you have multiple people in your house, they're all using a part of that. So if you have 20 megabits coming down and there are 10 people in there and they're gaming or they're watching HD movies, then you're going to have a little bit of congestion. Download still for basic home use, 20 or higher, great. 300, don't need any more than that, clearly. Upload. This is oftentimes where you need to work with your provider to see if they have a better upload package, especially if you want to be able to connect through Zoom and through Teams and through FaceTime and not have a really iffy image at best. And then the latency, the amount of delay before the process starts, keep it under 25-30 milliseconds and you're going to be in great shape. I think next week what we're going to talk about are routers and modems and what they are and how you can use them, and I might even show you what I have here. So hope you enjoy, have a great week, and if you're on the Patreon channel, you can always ask questions there of things you want me to cover in follow-up Senior Day Wednesdays. Ciao, gang.